how to attract the right people into your life in business or in dating or for your friends, right? So I'm going to share 3 tips that really helped me to do that. And I've been in a position in my life in all areas, like dating, not being aligned with people that don't appreciate me, in business or with work, like being around people that don't inspire me, and needing to change that, needing to switch that, and also with social interactions, like having people around me that are not very goal focused, not very driven, and it can totally drain you, and you can think that it can harm your self-worth even if you have people around you that you're not aligned with. And if that is you in any area of your life, you need to change that, because it will massively improve the quality of your life when you can do that. So we're going to crack into that, how to do that. 3 tips. Of course, the benefits are clear. You're gonna have more fun in your life. You're gonna feel better, and you're gonna be more in your kind of natural energy when you have people around you that appreciate you for what you have to contribute to them, right? And I mean, what I want to say to preface, I don't know how to say that, but as an introduction here, how to think about it is, sometimes we attract, that's how we say it. Sometimes we attract people that don't appreciate us because on the inside, we're not appreciating ourselves. There's an internal misalignment, there's a mismatch, and we actually, on some level, we don't think that we deserve it. I have one friend on X, he is very big on, he talked about how when we keep our word to ourselves, we show up, like every day, show up, and how that builds your trust in yourself. So maybe you're not doing that in any area of your life, and that is going to undermine and negatively impact your self-esteem, your self-confidence, right? You know you should be doing something, but you're not doing it. So the solution is not to beat yourself up when that happens, because that will create more tension in your system and it won't lead to you actually following through more. But it is a kind of a mix between forgiving yourself but also starting to take action. And you can't go from 0 to 100 like that, right? That might break you, or it's not sustainable. But what you need to do is, each opportunity that comes, you have a decision to make. Like an opportunity, you can work on your business or you can slack off. There's a choice point. You have a choice to make at that moment. And don't kid yourself, you're always making a choice. Or you see someone, you want to talk to them, and you feel nervous. There's a choice point. You can go do it or not do it. One thing that many people forget is we all have different set points. Like if you're not a very social guy or very social girl and suddenly you expect to talk to lots of people, it will be very challenging. But you can build it up slowly. And there are very big challenging choice points and there are small choice points, right? Do you check your phone, or are you gonna do a little bit of work for your business or on a hobby? You know, maybe you have a creative hobby, something you enjoy. Do you spend your time in a constructive way, or are you slacking off? And it's actually not these big choices. We think it's those big choices, and we need to get this one big choice right. But that's not the way it happens. That's not what moves the needle. What moves the needle is the small choices that are totally possible for you to make. That is that little thing where you're like, maybe it's smiling at someone, like you're in a group setting, you want to talk to a person and you're super nervous, you just smile at them, or you just say hi to them, and that's it. Like you set the bar low. Or like I said, you want to check your phone in the morning and you go like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to spend 5 minutes planning my day, right? And it can be very small. What matters more is the direction of travel, your direction of travel. It doesn't matter if you take these huge strides, but the direction that you're moving in, that matters. And you can build it with small steps. Might seem boring, right? You might think, no, Lucas, this is not gonna move the needle. Of course it won't, you know, not on one day, but if you do it consistently, every day, again and again, then it's going to move the needle and you reach a new set point. So suddenly 6 months have passed and you have been extremely consistent with your business or with meeting new people or with acquiring a skill, and then people look at you and they see the progress. They see suddenly you can do things that they cannot do, and they think, oh, this person is special. And they might even tell you, hey, you're so talented. And that is the moment you need to tell them, fuck off, I'm not talented. I just was consistent, and you can do the same. But many people, they don't want to hear that. So they create this excuse and they think it's talent. Some people, they are gifted. They are lucky. This is their excuse to not face the discomfort, the uncomfortable truth that they are not being consistent. And they feel uncomfortable with that, so they don't want to look at it. Also, mirror for yourself. Are you doing that? Are you thinking, oh, there is these special creators. We're on X here, right? If you're watching this video on X, we're on X. Maybe another platform. You see other creators. Maybe you want to have a business. You see they have a very big following. And you start thinking, they are special. I can't do this. This is self-sabotage. It doesn't help you. It's good to spot that and to shift that. And you shift it by being consistent. That's how you build an identity. You know where you're going and you take steps consistently. It's going to change you. So my main tips, to come back to what I said in the beginning, how to find people, attract the right people, your tribe, friends, mates, or business partners. You do that by, you need to do a few things. First, you realize that if there is a mismatch in your life, if people are draining you, if you don't feel you can be yourself, and you might be attached to those people. This is very counterintuitive. I had a relationship, a 4-year relationship with a woman. I loved her very much. I respect her as a person. Very smart woman, but she wasn't good for me because our energies, they were not aligned. There was a mismatch, you know. She was pulling in another direction. I was pulling in another direction. She couldn't handle me. I couldn't handle things about her, right? But I stayed in that relationship because I was afraid. Let me go somewhere where there is a little less noise. I was staying in that relationship because I was afraid of losing her support, her love. It's natural when you're in a relationship, also with friends. You're anxious, you might lose their support. You have no one cheering you on by your side, no one you can talk to. Or in business, you feel like, if I leave this person, am I really good enough? Can I do it on my own? And there is this anxiety, but there might be this anxiety. You have to decide, is being with that person, and let's accept those perks. There are some perks. And even when people stay in dysfunctional relationships, there is some kind of payoff. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in it. Some kind of payoff, but it can be toxic. So you have to assess those relationships and then decide for yourself, is this helping you? Is this furthering your progress in a certain direction? Or is this slowing you down? Is this actually harming you? And that's the first decision. So if you feel a mismatch and you don't have access to people where there's a match, you might think, there is no one to match with me, you know, something's wrong with me. I've been in that position for a long time, starting a business, all people around me, completely opposite direction, employee mindset, security focused, and I was like, am I crazy? But I had the internet. I had certain people I was following, certain creators. I had some contacts, at least some friends, at least, where I knew, okay, this person, he started a business, a good friend of mine, extremely successful entrepreneur, much younger than me, making a lot of money, big impact. It's impressive. And when you have these, and maybe it doesn't even have to be a friend of yours, but if you see those people, hold on to that. because this is proof that it's possible. But it's not only these like special people. You can also find those people wherever you're living, wherever your town is, wherever you are. But you need to make that step outside of your comfort zone. Because if you're comfortable in a dysfunctional relationship or in relationships, in a social circle, that is not furthering your growth and your ultimate trajectory where you're going in life, you're going to lose in the long term. So there is an initial discomfort, there is an initial pain in leaving that comfort, and it's necessary. But you have to be aware of the huge downside of staying there. It is going to fuck you over. I promise. If what your current friends, partner, business partners, if they're not aligned with your true values, with your direction, and you have to know that, of course, you have to inquire into that, then it's going to fuck you over. So that's the first step, getting outside of your comfort zone. The second thing is you need to increase your luck surface area. And the way you do that, in terms of meeting people, is you need to become more social. If you're not a very social person, I talked about this in one of my lives, a recent life, how to always be meeting new people. So it's social skills, moving outside of your comfort zone, but also creating a system in your life, like having these touch points. Like I do improv, I do entrepreneur meetups. There's always new people there, and I resonate, I connect with the tribe, with the kind of people that are there, because these are my hobbies. If you don't know what your hobbies are, if you're like, I don't know, you have to try. You have to try different things, and if it's shit, you don't go there anymore, right? You know what's the worst thing that can happen, and it can be scary, right? So if you're having hesitation to do that, maybe you haven't been that social, take small steps. Like I said, it matters that you're moving in the right direction rather than that you're taking these big strides, these big steps. That's more important. And having a system, regular points where you can meet people, where you're interested in those people because you have a mutual interest. Maybe there are people who are entrepreneurs if you're into entrepreneurship. Maybe there are people who are into, I don't know, making music, gardening. It can be anything, but you can connect with those people. And there is an influx of new people coming into that group. So a few things will happen. If you keep going to that group, you will make friends with those people there. Some people you're going to start vibing with, and always new people come in. And because you are developing a foundation in that group, your status will also get higher because you know so many people. New people will see that, and you will be more attractive to those people because they're like, hey, who's this person? I'm new here. Everyone knows him. Everyone knows her. And it will be that much easier to connect. But the same with business, exercise, you need consistency. It's an investment. The investment is not in one specific person, but you're picking a peer group, a group of people, a certain event, a scene, whatever you want to call it, and you keep investing in that. And you're building your social skills, you're building your standing in that group, which you can use your status within the group to sell things to people, of course, things that also benefit them, right? You can use it to find a mate, you can use it to network, or just if you enjoy helping people, you can use it to connect people, hook them up with something that helps them, right? It is extremely powerful. So those are the steps for connecting, attracting with your tribe, attracting the people that really resonate with you. One, you figure out if there is a mismatch in your life, and you become aware of the opportunity cost of that mismatch. Because you're not just losing those 1-2 years, however long that relationship goes, but you're losing out on the time of connecting with people that truly align with you. And if you poison yourself in that way, it's not just the years you're losing. Like they say, there is entropy, right? Entropy is chaos. If you don't clean a room, it's gonna get dusty, it's gonna get ugly, right? If you look at the streets in the city, if there weren't people who are cleaning the streets all the time, there's a lot of stuff lying around. Sometimes it happens also here. In some countries, it's even worse. Your body is the same, right? So if you don't put in that consistency, all systems tend to chaos, to entropy. And that is a problem. You don't want that, right? So you need to put in that consistency. So the first thing is and what I said with opportunity cost is you're not just missing out on that time. It's not just, I put it on pause, after, I break up with this person. After, next year I'm going to look for new friends. I'm going to start my business then. No. You're losing much more. Like I talked with about this topic with one of my coaching clients, and we were talking about what happens. He has 3 training days a day, right? A Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. These are his training days. And we talked about what happens when, Tuesday, maybe he does 1 training on Monday, then Tuesday hits, no training. Wednesday hits, he doesn't train, right? And in his mind, he was saying, you know what I'm saying to myself, Lucas? I'm saying, I'm going to do it. There's still time to do it, right? And then Thursday hits, Friday hits, and maybe by the time it's Saturday, he realizes, probably this week it's not going to happen. Like we start getting unrealistic. We're like, yeah, I can fit it in. It's like you have a deadline and the hour is getting later, your day is progressing and you're like, yeah, I can do this, 1 hour, 2 hours. But then it's really late and you're tired, right? And oftentimes you end up not doing it because you're just too tired to do it, or you screw over your sleep cycle because you're working late, right? So there is an opportunity cost. There is a bigger price you're paying. And it's not just that, it's also each time you postpone, each time you procrastinate, each time you don't do something, you feel, harking back to what I said in the beginning, like what my friend writes about a lot, about the keeping your own word, staying true to yourself, proving to yourself. Like you don't have to prove to other people. You have to prove to yourself that you are acting in your own interest consistently. And if you don't do that, each time you don't do that, you're chipping away. You're chipping away at your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-belief, your ability to execute, to be consistent. You're ruining that. That is also a price you're paying. It's not just like, I'm going to skip today. And I'm not saying you can never skip a day, right? There needs to be a balance. If you're like someone who goes really hard and you're like going into burnout, maybe you need to reassess. Sometimes we need to step back, take a break and reassess. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, right? But I'm speaking about the opportunity cost of making decisions that are not aligned. So by having people and tolerating people in your life that are not aligned with you, you're doing a lot more. You're harming your self-confidence, you're harming your flow states, you're harming your ability to meet new people because your energy is going to be shit. There's a huge web of consequences. So that's why it's so powerful when you start making a change. And when you start aligning with people that actually support you, people that understand where you're going, that you resonate with, where you can be yourself with those people. And it's an incredibly freeing experience. And like I said, the steps to do that: first, realize that you are paying a price by staying in comfort. Realize that there is a payoff, that you're getting something from that, even if it's harming you. Like a person who drinks alcohol, right? It's killing their body, it's killing their brain cells. But there is a payoff. They get relief from their pain, they numb their feelings, their pain, they feel lighter, they can relax, they can enjoy themselves, whatever. There is some benefit there, but we always have to weigh the pros and the cons. That's the first thing. Then you decide you step outside of your comfort zone, and once you do step outside of your comfort zone, the direction is very simple. You take small steps, you don't need to take big strides, but in the direction of increasing your luck surface area, we can call it, the chance that you can meet amazing people. Because let's face it, not every person you meet is going to be super aligned. You will meet a lot of people where they will not like you. They will look at you, they will not understand you, they won't even listen to you. I was at a meetup some weeks ago. I was sitting with a group of people. I was trying to talk to them. They weren't really listening. They were engaging with each other like I wasn't being heard. And I was feeling that, what's going on? These people don't respect me. These people don't like me. Something is off. I don't know what's going on. Used to freak me out in the past. I would go into my head. I would be like, Lucas, you're not worth it. Something's wrong here. What's going on? But I looked at the situation and then I got up. I excused myself. I said, it was nice talking to you. I'm gonna mingle with these other guys. I went over there, sat down. There were some very pretty ladies, one guy who was extremely engaged. I had a wonderful conversation. It was like day and night. I had to make no effort. They were asking me questions. They were engaging. There was a conversation like 3 meters, right? Just changing that position on that table, sitting with those other people, because I was worth it to myself to not sit with people that don't resonate with me, that don't dig me, that don't connect with me, that are not interested in me, right? Of course, I invest, I present myself, I'm curious about people, but you will meet a lot of people where there is no connect. The connect isn't happening. And it's totally okay. Like, you have to expect that. That is totally okay. And that is what I call a reverse indicator. That is a sign that you're doing the right thing. Because if you weren't socializing, you wouldn't meet anybody. You wouldn't even get negative feedback. So in this case, the negative feedback, negative experience, it's actually a positive one. Because it shows you that you're taking action and you're increasing your luck surface area of meeting more new people. And in time, you will meet people who really appreciate you, where you resonate with them, where you can share your energy freely with them, and they will embrace you. They will take you up with open arms because they can understand you, because they're intrigued by you, by what you have to offer, right? Of course, we also need to build our value, give value to others. Like, there's many, many things there, right? But it makes a huge difference when you exit your cocoon, your safe space, social group, partner that's maybe not aligned, your friends, people you've always done business with, and you venture into new environments. You're an innovator when you do that. And so many things will happen. You will meet so many interesting people. You will grow so much in your own confidence because you're doing that. You will get so good at social skills, and you'll become a person who's a connector. Like, you know this person, you know that person. And you'll start to find win-win situations where you can connect people. And it's absolutely beautiful when you can do that. So this was the gist of what I wanted to share, how you can attract people into your life. A little bit about me. I'm a ghostwriter and I'm a coach. I coach people with habits, confidence, masculinity. A lot of people who go into self-employment. If you have a question from what I shared with you now, feel free to DM me, message me, we can have a chat, no strings attached. And I also do ghostwriting on X, where I write viral threads for entrepreneurs so they can improve their visibility, grow their brand, with many benefits, of course. It's a compounding asset. If you're not growing your brand yet, you should definitely start doing that. And I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out, drop me a like. I really appreciate that. And I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care until next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.